Yo, what's going on, guys? Today this is going to be a pretty cool video, but it's on the top 20 teams in the world and just pretty much my opinions on it. Let's get started. So the first team that I have at the very bottom of this top 20 is definitely got to be SK, because they've lost so many valuable assets to their team, especially Pim, the in-game leader, which completely destroys it. But they also didn't perform all that well during E-League, and but right now what's kind of holding them together is the good play by Magic's boy. But really, they're not even a good team at this point. At 19, I actually have Hellraisers dropping completely. I used to think they were maybe 12th or 13th up there, but no, they're definitely down to 19 just because of how bad they played recently, and for the major qualifier especially, they were just getting destroyed. And then some maps they would have only 1 or 2 people carry, and it wouldn't be enough to actually get them far through the tournament to actually qualify for the major. 18th, I actually have Tyloo, which I don't even know much about them other than they they just completely lost on cash against Cloud9, and then just completely through the match. Even though Cloud9 has a very great CT side, so whenever I see them do bad on T side, I'm like, well, they could come back because their CT is just that good. But then they completely lost it, and they also didn't qualify, which is kind of a weird thing. Most people thought Tyloo would have actually qualified, but nope, they got screwed over by G2. So at 17th, I have CLG and A Hope over here, but it's this is depending if Kusta plays well or not. If he plays at a JDM level, which is very hard for him because he needs to be extremely involved to be able to reach a high level, because that's how he was on Enemy. Pretty much, I think the coach or whatever was calling out strats and everything specifically for him and ignoring everyone else, so he got a lot of shine into it. But if he plays pretty well, then I think CLG will stay around this area. This is depending if Kusa actually does perform somewhat. 16th, I actually have an up-and-coming team, not new players, but definitely some old players, especially Pronax, which he's on Godsent now, which is actually turning out to be a pretty good team. I don't think they qualified for the major, but I could be wrong about that, but I'm not even looking at anything right now. But anyways, I think it was DreamHack Zowie. I think that just barely happened, and they were playing against NIP, and they pretty much put up a good show against NIP, but NIP has kind of gone down on the just kind of lower than last week's rankings or whatever, just in my opinion. And they're slowly falling apart, but I feel like they'll just pick it back up anyways. I think this was just a mediocre tournament, and they could definitely do better in the next one. So 15th, I actually have Dignitas on here, which is kind of weird. But it's I feel like sooner or later they are going to be dropping insanely just a bunch, because you haven't seen them as a team yet. They barely just got Cajun beat, but they got rid of Kierby, which he was that heart and soul of that team pretty much, performance wise. He actually performed unlike all the other ones. And overall, I feel like Dignitas can do okay if Cajun B kind of gets a role in that team, but if it stays like this, then they're definitely going down. 14th, I actually have Cloud9, even though they didn't qualify for the major. Just it's kind of dumb how they got screwed over. I'm personally a Cloud9 fan, but it's not biased whatsoever. But pretty much G2, Shoxy or Shox, and Scream were once they perform, G2 just does good. And so for all the other matches, they didn't really perform all that well. So they were put down into the lower bracket, of the whole entire thing. And pretty much overall, they definitely just at the very end, they just stepped it up. They beat Cloud9, and then they qualified. It was pretty much like that. And overall, they just kind of Cloud9 they lost, but they should have gone against a worse team to qualify. But when you have G2, that was very well predicted that no matter what, easily get through it. But and then it was just one or the other, and clearly Shoxy could carry his team into an easy victory. 13, I actually have another NA team, but technically Canadian team, is Optic. They've been performing very well comparing to my standards of an NA team. They're probably the best NA team, but we still haven't seen all the NA teams with their new rosters and everything, and anything can really happen. Even a new NA team, super team, could be created out of this on Liquid, but we'll get onto that further in the video. But anyway, so 13th I have Optic because they just performing so well together. Mixwell and everyone. It's just kind of like he's been fragging like crazy, not like insane numbers, but definitely really up there. He's been carrying that team. Like everyone just kind of found a role. Like Nafly, he's been doing stuff. Rush, he's been getting good kills, important ones, and I feel like they deserve this 13th spot. 12th, I have Nico Sports, pretty much because Nico, and he's a god. We all know this. Come on. Alright, so 11th I have Liquid, actually, because they are going to be definitely high up there, but we haven't seen them with their new roster with JDM, especially inserted into the roster, and then also Pimp, very good in-game leader they can get from SK, and it looks like this team has a lot of opportunity and hope to kind of like be a good team and everything, as long as Nitro plays like he was when he was the best player in America, pretty much, and yeah. Let's see what Liquid can do in the future. Alright, for our top 10 now. 10th, I actually have FaZe. So anyways, FaZe has been performing very well. They just instantly qualified like it was nothing, which I personally hate because I bought one of their stickers. I was like, oh, please tell me like they'll leave the organization. My bad. Over time, so then that sticker rises in price because it's like a hollow and everything. But they did qualify very easily, and it's just insane how well everyone's performing, especially Rain. He's definitely going up there. So 9 actually have Envious, which could have been like switched with FaZe, but FaZe has gone on a mini run, and they easily can fall down towards the lower end of the 20, like they were, I think, last week. They like on HLTV or where I think they were like 16th or something like that. I can't remember. But anyways, they weren't like playing too well, and now they're just kind of playing as a team and playing their own game. But anyways, Envy is I still think they're better than FaZe, just because they kind of like been finding a rhythm every few games, and they qualified pretty easily. I think they just completely dominated Cloud9. I can't remember how, but I know in Cobblestone it was a very easy match just for all of Envy. They were completely outplaying them, and I know it was only to a 14th ranked team in my opinion, but definitely Envy looks like they could keep going back up there and higher in the top 10 if as long as they kind of get their stuff together. So at 8th, I actually have a team that just barely won, I think DreamHack Zowie or whatever, in Immortals, Temple Storm or whatever. They've been Immortals for a while though, but anyways, they definitely put on a good performance against NiP to take it all, I think, and yeah, against NiP, I think. Yeah, it was definitely against them. But anyways, so they played really well against them, played just well overall that whole tournament. They looked like they were consistent and everything, and most maps were close, the ones that they were playing in. They almost let one slip away. I think it was Mirage against NiP. I'm not sure if it actually did, but definitely I think they actually came back and won it after just losing so many rounds in a row, because they were actually like leading by like 13-8 or something like that, and then NiP started climbing up, or I think it was even lower than that, but I'm not completely sure. I didn't watch full game, kind of tuned in and then left a bit after that. So 7th, I actually have Virtus Pro, which they've been playing pretty well, but they haven't played in enough tournaments yet. Like, so they haven't, I don't think they're in E-League, and they didn't have to qualify for the major because I think they were already put into it, so it's like they haven't really had to play much. But definitely VP has definitely made a comeback ever since falling the very beginning of this year, pretty much. So at 6th, I have Astralis, which, in my opinion, they've been playing pretty well, but it's like they still need to find Kirby. I think they went completely flawless in I'm not completely sure, but it might have been Zoe, like DreamHack Zowie or whatever. But they definitely, like, they just completely went flawless and then lost it near the end. But anyways, overall, they've been playing pretty decent at a high level with their new addition Kierby or whatever. And he's been fragging very well for them and consistently. So for the top 5 now, for 5th, I actually have NiP, or Ninjas in Pajamas, just because they've been playing well, but I think they dropped a bit, because I think last month I would definitely put them in 3rd, but or like last week or so, like very beginning of this month. But anyways, NiP, they've been playing pretty decent, but it's like this could have been just a bad tournament overall, and then they could have they can make a comeback in their eyes and play better in the next one. So at 4th, I actually have G2, which they've been playing pretty well as well after qualifying for the major, and also I think they played in E-League. I'm not positive about that, but anyways, GC is definitely up there in my opinion as Shocks, and Scream can definitely keep fragging and stay consistent and everything. And then overall the team runs exactly the same. They'll definitely stay top 5 for a while. So for now, for the top 3, at third I actually have Navi. Navi has been playing very well, but the last tournament I think was like some Ukrainian tournament with I think only the other good team was Virtus Pro, and they lost against them surprisingly. But overall that's when Virtus Pro kind of like peaked for like a few games and then went back down to like a somewhat like top 10 or top 10 level. But definitely Navi has been playing very well, but I can't expect much from them just because I haven't seen them play enough because they haven't had to qualify. And I think they're going to start E-League tomorrow, which is going to be pretty cool to see against Echo Fox. Echo Fox could have been on this list, but they haven't played enough. But if I could put them on the list just starting, I would probably put them right at 21, almost at 20. Just because it's like, I don't know how that team's going to work, but it looks like a very good NA super team that could be built. Alright, so for second, I actually have Fnatic, which is kind of weird because they've barely just gotten back to like a good state, because Olaf Meister was gone for a super long time. He was gone for like 2 months, 3 months because of a wrist injury, then didn't want to play with that around, so he just pretty much practiced and pugged and everything for a while. But now he's pretty much back to his normal stage. He's been playing very well, and I feel like this Fnatic team can be even the first team in the whole entire world at this point. And if they keep playing like this, because if Olaf's playing, he usually gives very great opportunities for everyone else on his team. So if like everyone plays better, I think with since Olaf came back, Krems has definitely stepped up. He's been playing pretty well in some matches. Flush has been going insane, like with his frags and everything. Just overall, this team looks like it could go back to its unbeatable days when they won like 5 tournaments in a row, first place, and they were all big ones. Alright, so the first one, many people will know this, but it's Luminosity, but I don't think it's that close anymore. Like, it wasn't like, I think it's very close as of now, just because how Fnatic could become the team again, because Olaf's back, the old one, meaning the old Fnatic can be back in general. But Luminosity, they won the major, they've done all this stuff, and then they've played consistently. They haven't like completely swamped any tournaments really, but overall I feel like this is going to be a really neat month to see what it's like at the very end of it. And I feel like Luminosity is just very dominant as of now, and I don't think they are stoppable, honestly. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of like somewhat biased since I'm like a Cloud9 fan. Yeah, shows how much I know about esports. But anyways, overall this is just my personal top 20. Leave a comment if you really feel like debating about this or whatever. And thanks for HLTV just kind of giving me an easy run over of all the stats, and then I just kind of memorized them. Not even looking at them right now, but you can't see me because no face cam. But I might have one coming up in like a few, but I'm not like completely sure about it because I don't have like a good enough setup to make the face cam also look good. But overall, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.